Yes, good morning, first English students, and so we are learning syntax, and what is given in our textbook is the various kinds of grammar. Okay, so learning grammar is important and absolutely important, and how can we learn this grammar is what we are studying, and so the previous video is so we cannot accept traditional grammar. In no way we can accept traditional grammar. It is not at all useful and it is boring, and maybe from exam point of view it could be useful, but to learn a language, traditional grammar, and especially to learn English language, traditional grammar is completely useless. Okay, so that is okay. Grammar book, first unit, parts of speech. So it's parts of speech, noun, definition of noun, examples, underline noun in the given sentence. So such is completely useless. Okay, so now then what can we do? And so in 20th century, structural and descriptive linguistics and grammar is introduced. All scholars accept this thing, and so actually 10 points are given in the book. I just simply condensed those 10 points in a single sentence, and I just want to complete that topic. And in this video I will discuss only those. Actually 2 points is already discussed, 8 more points are there, and in this video I will explain those 8 points, and in the following video tomorrow, and if I'm not going to give up, I'm not give you a break for this syntax unit. Tomorrow, of course, very difficult. Within half an hour, it is definitely impossible. But try to learn it. ICA grammar, that is immediate constituent analysis. Okay, that will be discussed tomorrow, and in the following day, PS grammar, that is phrase structure grammar, that will also be discussed, and the third day, transformative generative grammar. Okay, even there are long topics as well as important topics. Today's video is also important one, and but let's say these 4 topics, that is the structural grammar and ICA grammar, PS grammar, TG grammar. All the 4 topics are important one. Definitely within half an hour of video, or it's impossible, but as we don't have time, try to understand it as soon as possible. Okay, so for that, let's say the basic grammar is essential. Basic grammar is essential in the sense the basic structure of a sentence. Okay, so in a sentence there should be a subject and there should be a verb. Without a verb, almost it is impossible to construct a sentence, especially in English language. Okay, whether the verb is past tense or present tense, and that the basic skill that we should have. Okay, so I write a letter. Okay, so I subject, write verb, and letter object. Okay, I am a teacher. So yes, we see. Okay, so here teacher is not object. Teacher, the word teacher is complementing the subject. So it describes about the subject. It is complementing the subject. So it is said to be complement. Okay, so such kind of analysis you should have, and when we do such kind of analysis, easily you will be able to construct sentences. So that is the idea, and that's what we have to study grammar. Okay, so especially the sentence pattern, parts of speech, that knowledge is necessary. And don't worry, we all know it as we practice again and again, and we know it. and of course in your writings, let's say some basic spellings which is not fair. At the college level, some basic spelling mistakes you do, and which actually I did not mention anywhere, but that you have to rectify. And another thing, one suggestion, though it is not given in the book, I think I already mentioned, do not use long sentences. Break the sentences, and that's what given here also. Okay, so I say do not use long sentences. Okay, break your ideas. Okay, break your ideas and make it as simple as possible. Okay, say for example, at this point the story shift to Septimus point of view. That's all. At this point the story shift to Septimus point of view. Okay, and don't unnecessarily confuse yourself. At this time this happened, at this time, and then it don't confuse yourself. Okay, that's why you should have clear thoughts and clear ideas, and when you understand the subject, naturally it is easy for you to write. And my strong recommendation is that do not write long sentences, or even do not use complicated words also. Make it as simple as possible. Okay, most importantly, do not use long sentences, and that will reduce the possibilities of committing mistakes. Okay, and you will also have clarity of thoughts. Okay, readers will also be able to understand. Okay, so how to break the thoughts? I mean, thoughts is completely different, but when a sentence is given, and okay, how to break the sentence? Okay, this is the subject. Okay, say for example, the girl who is wearing the red saree is my sister. This is a sentence. Okay, we can write also the girl who is wearing a red saree is my sister. Okay, I will give you a doesn't matter. I will explain this sentence. The girl who is wearing the red saree is my sister. Okay, here the subject or the noun phrase is the girl who is wearing the red saree. That all these words are combined together as noun phrase or subject. The girl who is wearing the red saree. Underline all these words, and we can say that it is subject or noun phrase. Is, that is verb. My sister, it is a complement. Okay, so this is the girl who is wearing the red saree. So everything is a noun phrase. Okay, in the noun phrase itself we have a verb. The girl who is wearing is a verb phrase, but that verb phrase comes under noun phrase. Okay, so tomorrow you mention it. That's how you analyze the sentence. Okay, so she is my sister. Okay, that's all. So SVC, subject verb complement. Okay, but who is that she? She is my sister. And who is she? Then you ask the question, who is she? And I say the girl who is wearing the red saree. Okay, so all the information is given. Okay, so the same sentence could be mentioned as she is my sister. The same sentence could be mentioned as the girl who is wearing the red saree is my sister. Both are the same sentence. Okay, they convey the same meaning. Okay, so that's how you a constituent. Okay, that is what we will discuss in the next video. So but that's how you divide a sentence. When we divide sentence and we can understand the meaning of the sentence, and we can understand the meaning of this sentence, and we can construct similar sentence. Okay, so this is the idea. So for that, first of all, the basic nature of the language, that we have to know. Okay, so the first point given was already discussed, what the native speakers speak. Okay, and they have the right to do it, and we can say you being an Indian, having mother tongue as Tamil, and I can't say this is how you have to speak English language. Likewise, we can't say those people, and likewise they also cannot say that this is how you have to speak Tamil language. Likewise, they also cannot say to us. Okay, so what the native speakers speak, and that is to be the real language, and we have to learn the language from simple unit to small unit to large unit. That is the basic sentence. Each sentence, how a sentence is structured, and from that we have to learn a paragraph or many ideas or concept essays. Okay, so third point, I mean this structural grammar, descriptive linguistics or structural linguistics, the nature of language. That's what we given the 10 points, and it is also important as well. Each and every language has its own structure. It should be studied. Okay, so this point is also already explained, but not with reference to this particular point. Let's say the structure of the plural structure of English language is the general plural of plural structure of English languages, adding s. Okay, so boy, boys, girl, girls, toy, toys, book, books, table, tables. Sometimes you have to add es. Okay, so for some nouns, completely the meaning, spelling itself will change, but the general rule. So okay, add s to words, and that's not rule, but we have to practice it. Okay, so that's how the native speakers speak, and that's how we have to use. So this is the general structure of English language. When we add the syllable kal to any Tamil nouns, Tamil word nouns, so it become plural. Okay, so aangal, pen pengal, puttagam puttagangal, and maram marangal. So likewise, when we add kal, the syllable kal, then it became plural, plural, orumai panmai. Okay, so this is the structure. Okay, so each and every language has its own structure. Okay, so asked, and walked. So, okay, the general idea is when we add ed, it becomes past tense. Okay, so let's say in case of Tamil, the verb is completely different. The structure of verb in Tamil language is completely different. Eludu, eludinen, eludiyavan, and likewise we have various forms of verbs in Tamil language, and that is its structure. So understanding the structure is important, and each and every language has its own structure, and generally we cannot compare it. Okay, actually in my teaching I compare English grammar with Tamil grammar, which is also not recommendable or appreciable, because the structure of Tamil language and structure of English language is completely different, entirely different. Okay, see, if we take Dravidian languages, the grammar structure, the vocabulary, more or less similar. The Dravidian language, that is Tamil, Telugu, Kannadam, and Malayalam, and scientifically and worldwide, it is proved that from Tamil language only Telugu and Kannada and Malayalam language evolved. So therefore they are similar. Okay, and at the same time they have their own structure. Okay, some kind of similarity is there, but Tamil language and English language is completely or entirely different languages. Okay, for sake of better understanding, when we compare certain things, you can understand. For that purpose, I compared. Okay, but the structure are actually completely different, absolutely different. So each and every language, even though the Dravidian language, we can find some similarity, yet they have their own structures. Okay, and next point, speech should be given primary importance, and this is problem in Indian education system also. Okay, so even the university examination, only your written writing skills is performed, is judged, and at the SSLC level, at the HSC level, only your writing skills are judged. Okay, so as far as this point is concerned, our education system failed. Only to a certain extent, the modern textbook, English textbook, support functional English, that is TG grammar is mostly followed. Traditional grammar is almost given up, not completely, almost given up, but TG grammar is followed. But when we learn English language in our textbook, our speaking skills, importance to develop our speaking skills is not at all given. Okay, so this is a problem, but the main principle of learning a language is speech should be given full importance. Don't need to read or write. Writing skill, give least importance to writing skills. Speaking skill, that is absolutely important. This is the most important principle in learning a language, but unfortunately we don't have that. And no dialect should be considered as inferior or superior. Okay, so in the beginning of 20th century, this principle is universally acknowledged. So no dialects. Okay, so it is BBC. See, I speak BBC English. So you speak Indian English. So this is not Indian English is not acceptable. Such kind of statements is not acceptable. It is unacceptable. Okay, Indian English is unacceptable. That is not, we cannot say so. Okay, so even if you take Tamil language, Chennai Tamil, okay, that is somewhat. We also say that if I mean the local Tamil, okay, Tanjore Tamil and the local Tamil, we cannot accept the local Tamil. That is wrong. We have to accept Tirunelveli dialect and Thoothukudi dialect, Coimbatore dialect, and Chennai dialect or Pondicherry dialect, and let's say in Pondicherry, the word this word is often this particular word is often used. Wootanda. இங்க வீட்டு பக்கத்துல, that's what I use, and most of Tamil people use. Chennai or in Pondicherry also I often hear this word எங்க ஊட்டாண்ட. Okay, இப்போ நான் அங்கே ஊட்டாண்ட வந்தேன். So the word ஊட்டாண்ட, I mean பக்கத்துல, that word should be used. Let's say they also can be used. ஊட்டாண்ட, I will say இங்கே வீட்டு பக்கத்தில் அப்போ அது இருந்துச்சு. ஓகே, அண்ட் இப்போ ஊட்டாண்ட தான் அப்போ அது இருந்துச்சு. ஓகே, ஸோ பக்கத்தில் அண்ட் ஆண்டப்ப both are acceptable. We have to accept. When someone says ஊட்டாண்ட, okay, he is inferior people, the dialect is not acceptable. That is wrong. Okay, if some of you have that local Tamil or Chennai Tamil or any dialect, we have to accept all dialects. They are also human beings, and they also use languages, and we have to accept all the dialects. Okay, grammatically or pronunciation wise, vocabulary wise, we have to accept everything. Okay, and so rules should not be given importance. Okay, so completely sticking to rules. This is the rule. And when I say some important points, and if you want to say some urgent news, you have to convey. No, this is a grammar mistake. You have to improve your grammar mistake. Such kind of things. I want to convey a point. Okay, this urgent point, this important point. Okay, but if I'm able to make you to understand, then it is okay. Okay, so this is what we have to understand. Completely sticking to rules is not recommendable. Rules, yes, we have to know rules, but completely sticking to rules is not recommendable. Okay, so this is the point, and seventh point, language is to communicate. Okay, so the main purpose of using language is to communicate. How far have I communicated the points, my thoughts, my feelings to you? For that purpose, I use language. Okay, so so the main purpose of language is to communicate. So I write a book. So using that book, I can communicate to hundreds of people or thousands of people. Okay, so Shyamala is communicating hundreds of people. By that book, she is communicating. Virginia Woolf is communicating by that book. So language is the main purpose of language is to communicate. Okay, and eighth point is interesting point as well as important point. Language is the conventions to be followed. Conventions, marabugal. Okay, so let's say yesterday I wrote a letter. And I cannot say that yesterday I writed a letter. Okay, see, asked, walked, talked. So when this is the case, so it should be writed. And why do you change the rule? Let me follow my own rule. I will also say, yesterday I writed a letter. Okay, why they changed? Why did not they use the word writed? So likewise, such kind of questions cannot be asked and should not be asked. So that is a convention, marabu. Okay, so I wrote a letter yesterday. Okay, and just now I have written a letter. That's how we have to use the language. Why the see? I asked my teacher and as well as my father, why should we add yes to the verb? When we add yes to noun, why should we add yes to the verb? It is confusing. Is there a plural form of verb? There is no such plural form of verb. But for third person singular and simple present tense, we have to add yes. That is the convention, that's all. Why do they do it? That we do not know. See, I write a letter. They write a letter, you write a letter, he writes a letter. And if I write, I writes a letter, that is wrong. And if I say, he write a letter, that is also wrong. He writes a letter, that is correct sentence, grammatically correct sentence. Why it is so, that we do not know, that is the convention. Okay, that we have to follow. Convention, adha marabu. We have to follow it simply. Okay, so what is the convention? See, I say, I write a letter, you write a letter, he writes a letter, they write a letter. Okay, so this is the pattern. So by that pattern, we have to understand the rule that for third person singular and simple present tense, we have to add yes to the verb. So this is the rule. So when I say for third person singular noun, and when it is simple present tense, we have to add up yes to the verb, and then I give examples. So it may be difficult. So all of you say, I write a letter, you write a letter, he writes a letter, she writes a letter, it writes a letter, they write a letter, we write a letter, he is writing a letter. Likewise, when you practice, when we utter and when we write often, then it is practices. And then we have to apply the rule for third person singular and simple present tense. We have to use we have to add yes to the verb. Okay, then we have clarity. Yes, in this point we have to use we have to add s to the verb. So by language is set of convention which should be followed, and language changes with the time. That is most important thing. So language, the meaning, even the grammatical structure, everything changes with the time. Okay, we have to accept change in a language, otherwise the language will die. Sanskrit is a language which cannot accept change in due course of time, and that's why no one is using that language. Okay, it is only used in temple. Okay, and some scholars are reading it, that's all. Okay, so language changes with the time. Today, let's say Shakespeare doesn't know the word telecast or broadcast. The word telecast, television is invented in the 20th century, and the new word telecast is used, and that should be included in dictionary. Okay, the new term is coined. Okay, so we have to accept changes. We have to coin many words. Then only the language is improving, and the concept of grammar also should be changed. Okay, so simply sticking to rules is not recommendable. This was the grammar used in that time. This was the grammar used in that today. So language tend to change. This principle also we have to say, understand. Okay, see, Shakespeare did not use the word in this way. Shakespeare's grammar is wrong. Likewise, we cannot say at that time that the grammar was acceptable. Today, this is acceptable. Okay, see, the SMS language is acceptable. Only in WhatsApp and in SMS we can use the SMS language. Okay, so TO2, rather than that we can simply type as numerical 2 from 4 and M. Okay, likewise we can use only in WhatsApp and in SMS, but in a formal context we cannot use it. Okay, so such kind of changes are acceptable and common, and we have to understand this principle. And change of meaning, spelling and letters are also common. Okay, so this is the 10th point, change of meaning. I mean, this is extension of the 9th point, spelling and the form of letters. Let's say, okay, I don't have pen or board. Actually, the first, before 5,000 years, Tamil letter, if you take a Tamil letter, we will use in this way. Okay, but before 5,000 years, the A is used in this way. Just a kind of sided V and then one stroke. Okay, that's how letters change in Tamil language, and such kind of change in the letters, spelling and even meanings, they are also common. Okay, language tend to common, and what is acceptable today is what should be conveyed. That's how language should be used. Okay, so okay, that's all. And I mean, tomorrow's video is important. I mean, these three topics are important. Again, I say immediate constituent analysis, phrase structure grammar, transformational generative grammar. These three topics are important. Even if I take more time, it doesn't matter, but these three topics are very important topics in this unit. Okay, we will begin the topic IC, immediate constituent analysis. Okay, thank you.